Bionicle. The real reason why LEGO was saved from bankruptcy. Bionicle is known for its amazingly written story and its many lovable characters. However, due to having so many characters in the Bionicle lore, that means the writing process was difficult. Some characters took way too much screen time, others have only one interesting quality, and then the rest are just left for dead. However, when the memorability category comes into play, Bionicle succeeds at that. So today, I'll be showing you my top 10 favorite Bionicle characters. But hang on, before we get on to this video, I must clarify that this is my opinion and my opinion alone. So if you disagree with me, I'll play cool, because it is your opinion and it's not mine. And there are a few odd and biased options, so with that said, let's begin. Number 10 is Generation 2 Kopaka. Now, the G2 Kopaka is one of the best characters in G2, although that's not saying much. Aside from having the best V designs out of any other Toru, Kopaka has a really dull personality, at least the J2 one. The only reason why he's on this list was because he was my first LEGO Bionicle set I ever got, and I got him from my mum's uncle. Sadly, he is dead as of now. So, Kopaka J2 is only on this list due to his amazing design and due to the significance with my mum's uncle, as personally I got nothing else nice to say about him. Generation 2. Oh, how you disappointed me. Number 9 would have to be the Bionicle Heroes Cracker. Compared to his partner, the original Cracker didn't really suit me. It was just another one of those cliche dumb sidekicks. But it's when I played Bionicle Heroes that I get a new appreciation for Cracker, at least for one from Bionicle Heroes. For me, this incarnation of Cracker was a lot more interesting, and now I felt his design really went with that personality. Roxy are one of the most iconic Bionicle characters. They are most well known due to their very memorable interpretation in the films, and the fact that the slugs inside them, the Crotcher, provides each of their personalities. However, not all the Roxy are in the number 8 spot, because that honor goes to Volrock. When you look at all the other Roxy, they have really intimidating designs, but they're only really let down due to their bland color schemes. But when you look at Volrock, he's the most intimidating out of all the other Roxy, due to having a color scheme that actually fits him very well. Also, canon-wise, Volrock are the best hunters out of all the Roxy, and Volrock gets extra points for having an amazing Bionicle Heroes boss battle. Also, a fact worth mentioning, his spear is a spear of hunger, so when he shanks you with it, it takes away all your strength. Yeah, you don't want to mess with this guy. Number 7 would have to go to one of the most underrated Bionicle characters, that being Botar. He is part of the Order of Matanui, and his job is to send people to the pit. Despite his very concerning design, Botar is actually a pretty interesting character, considering that it's actually pretty civil, coming from a race of very indigenous and crazy species. Also, his death is one of the most pointless deaths out of all of Bionicle, being killed off screen and just replaced by another member of the species. Yep, this is totally gonna go down well with the fan base. Number 6 is for sure going to go to the fallen Toru, Nadiki. Nadiki have its potential of being one of these characters that redeem themselves in the end, but with Nadiki, that's not the case. He easily has one of the best character arcs in the entire story. He was once a Toru of Air, who then got sick and tired of his Toru lifestyle, so he teamed up with the Dark Hunters, but then that resulted in him being kicked out of his Toru team, and be banished from Metru Nui. He then regrets his decision, only for him to be mutated into this insect thing. Although, now when I think about it, Nadiki is actually pretty similar to Anakin Skywalker from Star Wars. Both betrayed their causes, and both were transformed into some sort of thing. Nadiki into a creature, and Anakin Skywalker into Darth Vader. Only difference is that Nadiki never redeemed himself, and Anakin is just a lot more relatable than Nadiki. But going back to the fact that Nadiki never redeemed himself just made me feel more sorry for him, thus his entrance on this list. If I'm going to be really honest, most Toas in the Bionicle storyline are pretty dull, which is why most of the characters on this list tend to be the antagonists. And let's be real here, the villains in Bionicle were so much better. But then came the Toei Inika, by far the least stereotypical Toei team, and that's why I adore these guys. And so, the universe was blessed with the best Toei in my opinion, Toru Nuparu. On a design standpoint, Nuparu looks the most badass out of all of them. Personality-wise, he's also pretty cool, being interested and inquisitive about latest technology while taking his duty above all else. Nuparu was a Toa that stood out to most other Toa, and that is why he is more than deserving to be in my top 5. Out of all the Makuta, Chirox easily has to be the best one in my opinion, with a really great design that is much better than his boss, Makuta Pterodax. Also, he has quite the well-written personality, so I don't know why I haven't got him yet. Maybe we'll see in the future. Kicking off our top 3 has to be the surprisingly hilarious Metis. When I first saw him in the Bionicle movie The Legend Reborn, I instantly fell in love with the guy due to his very chilled personality. However, then as the film progresses, we find out that Metis was actually the traitor and the person who joined the Bone Hunters and the Squall together. Back then, I was watching cartoons where the good guys were just good, and it was simple as that. The fact that Metis introduced me to the complexity of traitor characters is the sole reason why I love him so much. Number 2 would have to be the almighty Karl. Now, I am fully aware that he's the dumbest out of all the Baraki, but the reason why I fell in love with him was because his portrayal in the Baraki commercials. After that very commercial, I knew I just had to get Karl. So I was looking for him for like millions of ages. But one of my birthdays, I actually got Karl, and in that moment, I just felt complete. The Piraka are for sure one of my favorite Bionicle factions, but picking a favorite from this group was actually pretty easy, and that favorite is Avac. I mean, my homie's in my profile picture, so that makes sense. Why do I like him, you may ask? I don't have a reason. I just think that he's really cool, and yeah, that's about it. I just love Avac. End of story. So that wraps up the video quite weirdly. But anyway, who are your top 10 favorite Bionicles? I'm open to any opinions. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.